Welcome to the fourth chapter of this painting tutorial. Yeah, I'm still awake, so hopefully you are as well. And let's see what we're going to do next. I think the skin is in order. Having a new layer of it, somewhat less rudimentary, more into detail, and also maybe some cadmium red added as well. So first I'm going to actually address the composition. Is everything as it's supposed to be? Is it in line? I mean, if you have the line of the eyes and the line of the mouth with the corners of the mouth as measuring points, and is it straight? And also, if you put a line to the middle, is it straight? Although it must be said that it's skewed somewhat to the left, because there is where she is looking, but it's just minor, so you might be using the technique as well. I don't know why I'm eating my brush there, but it's a fine brush, I think size 2. And the first thing I'm going to do is address the mistake of the mouth. So outline it with a dark color and see if I can straighten it out. In this case, sometimes I use just black, pure black as a dark color. And now I'm trying to find any other mistakes I might address right now. So like the eyes, do I need to move it a bit to the left or to the right? That's something I was thinking about. But first I'm going to outline the eyelids, so she has a clearer eye as such. And maybe even starts to live a bit. Once again, I'm using either a mixture of sienna and ultramarine blue or just black. It's not really something that matters that much at this point. You can do both. Also here, the eyelids. I'm trying to address the nose right now. It's one of those stages that you need to keep looking and finding any minor mistakes. But also it might be time to just make sure that the eyes and nose and mouth are already somewhat more natural, so I add some blue color at some spots for the eye. And now I'm also thinking, well, the same color, I can use it just to address the area underneath the eye where the skin is also quite thin, so to say. So there are some quite cool and bluish areas in the face. And therefore I need a real cool mixture. But pure ultramarine blue with just white is not enough. You see, next to this area, where the skin to the nose bridge is coming over, there is quite a cool area. It's a bit shiny, and it really gives the face more this kind of exciting realism it needs, because you can't just paint a face with just burnt sienna, so to say. You need all kinds of colors to make it real natural. Now, trying to define the eyebrows. Make sure eyebrows are not like really just straight shapes or anything. Their hairs are also quite interesting to see, because they grow from the inside outside towards the outside. And part of the eyebrow is actually on top of the forehead, and part of the eyebrow is just to the eye socket, so to say. So that area is darker. Trying to find some cooler spots on this right side, since I'm still in the bluish mode, but it's darker than the blue I used in the lighter area. And as I'm moving forward, I might just address the shape of the mouth as well. So if I add some pure white at some spots, it's a bit harsh, but it works in such a way that you can actually see how much contrast the painting is going to need. So it looks quite dramatic, but in the end it's the direction in which you want to be heading to give it more depth. So you really want to have the highlights to be like almost white at some point, like the area of the nose and this area on the left side beneath the left eye. Sometimes I'm exaggerating a bit, so in that case I might need some transparent oxide red just to bring it down a bit, to give it its natural warmth, because titanium white in pure condition can be a bit coolish. So I'm trying to define the upper lip, but there is still some area between the lip and the nose that it's a bit darker. And the nostril is also a bit brighter. But we're going to work on the nose later on. It's time to smooth things out a bit. And now you can also see a bit that it needs this much brightness at this spot to really stand out, this painting. So sometimes I paint small dots, sometimes I paint a bit more bigger surfaces, so to say. trying to find this area, you see that next to the nostril there is this area where there is this wrinkle, or this, it's not really a crease in her case. It's more like where the flesh of the cheek is somewhat thicker. Actually, when it goes towards the nose bridge, so it needs to be defined a bit, you know. On top of the forehead, there's a small area where there is also some light coming in, but it's less intense than her left cheek and the nose. This area is also less intense. It's warmer. It has more glow. This area, let's say between the chin and the cheek, so part of the jaw, so to say, is not as bright. It's also not that dark either. So sometimes it can be a struggle to really find the amount of brightness in a certain spot. The area between the eyes where the nose bridge is, there is a spot that's also a bit darker because the nose bone goes a bit backward compared to the forehead. So there is this small area where the flesh is somewhat hovering in space, so to say. So that's the dark area over there. For the most part, we are working with warm colors over here. There is only a small part where there are cooler colors. My fast brush working, just blending things together. Yeah, it was an area that was in need of help. So the upper lip also has a connection towards the cheek. I still have to define the snot sewage, but we will come to that. There is definitely some cadmium red on the bottom of the chin. I like it, but I don't know if it were there if in this case as such, but I still will paint it. because it might be just a reflection of the red dress she's wearing in the original picture. Then again, who knows? You know? Well, I've told it, so now you know. So that around the nose, this is quite an area where there is some cadmium red, especially next to the nostril. The skin over there is quite thin. The same goes for the area in the eye casket. The skin there is thinner, so you will need some cadmium red to show that the skin is thinner. Over there as well. Still looks a bit like a drunk, but I think that's just a simple correction to make that go away. Because when you just blend the nose, then it will be gone. But first I'm going to do the right cheek with the warm colors over there. So the warm colors over there are not from the dress as such, because there is no connection, let's say, reflection-wise. She already looks like a person, though not exactly like the model of the reference photograph. But at some point we will come to that as well. She looks a bit stricter, but I think that's will disappear when we address the eyes and the mouth. Make this less intense, and she will get better, but don't move it away to make her like this smooth caricature. People should be portraited in the way they are, you know, not idealized. So next to this area, between the nose and the it's still quite dark area where there's not any light coming. This is the core shadow area. It's really something that stands out from the rest of the painting. Somewhat more brightness over here as well. So next we're doing the eyes.